So just lift and roll the shoulders. I'm sorry, we're 5 minutes out. Press the feet into the ground. Just come to your center. Breathing in and out. And just raise the right arm. Stretch up. Turn the head away from the right arm to the left. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And when you're ready to breathe in back to the center with the head and breathing out, lower the right hand. And breathing in, raise the left hand. Stretch up. Breathe out, turn the head to the right, away from the left hand. Stay here for an in and an out breath. When you're ready, come back to the center and breathing out, lower the hand. Lift and roll the shoulders. Breathing in, raise both hands up to the ceiling. Stretch up with the middle finger and feel that you're stretching out, up away from your waist and up from your pubic bone. And then breathing out, lower the hands. Come back to the hands at the heart center. We're going to do this a couple of times. Coordinating the movement with the breath, stretching up, beginning to slow the nervous and calm the nervous system down. Breathing out, lower the hands. And again, just circle the arms up. Stretch up. And then open the arms just for a short while outwards. Connect the second finger, index finger, to the root of the thumb. Slightly look up. And take an in and an out breath. This is quite heavy on the arms, so we won't stay here very long. Raise the arms up, connecting to the heart and solar plexus. So coming into your inner power, and then breathing out, lower the arms. Lift and roll one shoulder, and lift and roll the other shoulder. Just touch the fingers to the collarbones, raise the elbows up. They don't have to touch, if they do, wonderful. And circle the elbows in one direction. So the aim is to connect the elbows, but again, you don't have to, just be comfortable. And then reverse the elbows in the opposite direction. And I notice I'm not connecting my elbows here either, that's interesting. And then just release and lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then step your feet hip width apart. Once more, hands to the heart center. Breathe in, circle the hands up. Clasp and reverse the hands upwards. And go to the left, this time just looking up at your hands, lifting your chin, and feel that you're between two panes of glass, really stretching up, breathing in, come to the center, and then go over to the other side, to the right. Stretch back up to the center, bring your head to the center as well, and then lower the hands back down. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands together at the heart center. And this time we're going to do a half salute to the sun, stretching the arms up, palms together. Soften the knees and bend the elbows as you come through to place the hands on the shins. Half lift, so lifting from the tailbone to the top of the head, the chin is in. Breathe out, soften the knees. Breathe in, lengthen, and stay here as you breathe out. Breathe in, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raising the arms up, stretching up with the third finger. Lower the arms. And again, coming to prayer at the heart center. Half salute to the sun again, stretching up, stretch really up, palms together, come through the center, soften the knees, hands onto the shins, breathing in, lengthen from the tailbone to the top of the head. Breathe out, soften the knees in. Breathe in, lengthen, and stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, bend your knees, press your feet into the ground, and you can use your hands to support you as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And coming on to raise your hands, touch, clasp your thumbs, lock your thumbs together, and just sway from side to side. You can bend your knees if you want to do this. It's swaying palm tree pose. So a reminder that we connect to the earth like a tree, solid, but we have flexibility in our branches to sway with life's stresses, lots of them at the moment, as strains, and then just coming to the centre. Circle the wrists down and circle the wrists up. If you've gone one way, try and reverse the circle, thinking about it. Down, and then circling up. Stretch up, and then just circle down, however you want to. And then stepping again, a little bit wider than feet hip width apart. And coming to a very familiar movement of hands out. They're going to twist very, very gently from side to side. So just twist. The back hand goes to the back of the waist or the bottom, the top hand to the shoulder, just a little bit more exaggerated than we normally do. And then twist. And then start to speed up in your own time, twisting from side to side, moving all the energies, balancing the pelvis as you subtly change the weight from foot to foot. You can lift your heel. And you're balancing as you're subtly moving the head, beginning to balance the brain hemispheres. You need to do it probably for a bit longer than we are, but it is a wonderful rejuvenator. It's hard to hold on to tension when you're doing this. And then start to slow down. And then come to stillness. Come to your feet being hip width apart. It's being comfortable, and lift and roll the shoulders again. And then I think I said yesterday that what we eat reflects in our eyes. So our eye tone, particularly if we've been stressed or ill, quite often our eyes can focus can be disturbed. One of the best things that you can do for your eyes is to splash them with cold water, because it tightens the muscles and it gives the eyes like a little mini workout. But in the interim, just stay with your head still, and we did this yesterday. Eyes up to your imaginary 12 o'clock, up to the eyebrows. Come through the centre and down to your 6 o'clock. Centre and to your 3 o'clock. Centre and to your 9 o'clock. Come back to the centre. And then go up to 10 past the hour, through the centre to 22 the hour. Come back to the centre. Go up to 10 to the hour, and down to 20 past the hour, and come to the centre. Bring your eyes up to 12 o'clock and go around smoothly and slowly clockwise. Notice where your eyes jump. And come up to the top and then go around anti-clockwise. Come back to the centre. Just dropping your focus to a slightly different vibe. Just imagine you're looking at the distance. The analogy would be a hill, and you're looking at little people, who appear very tiny as they're walking. You're just looking slightly into the distance, or looking into the garden, or looking through the window at something. It subtly alters your eye focus. And then just drop your eyes. And then the other final one is to bring your thumb up and just bring it closer. And notice when you start to go out of focus. And then just bring it a little bit closer. Again, your eye focus is altering. And then just release. Just rub your hands, palm them. You've got energy points in the hands, your nadis, and just place your warm hands, activated hands, over your closed eyes, just palming. Open your eyes now into the blackness of your hands, and just move your hands away. And then just release back down again. So the other lovely thing with the eyes is just to, with the fingers, to massage on the temples. This is wonderful for a headache. And we mentioned sinusitis, so this is starting to get into that area. And then just gently tap with the second or third finger underneath the eye socket, right up to the inner eye. And then around the eyebrow. There are a couple of acupressure points there, so the inner part of the eyebrow you can massage with your fingers. And there's another acupressure point halfway along your eyebrow, like a little niche, little notch. And then you're back to your temple. And then just drop your hands. Before we come to lying, just bring the hands up, out, breathing in, breathing out. Turn the palms down, out, back, and down. Palms up, out, back. Palms down, out, back, and down. Just do this a few times more. Up, out, back. Palms down, out, back, and down. Up, out, back, down, back, and just release, lift and roll the shoulders. And we're going to be coming to a seated position, legs out to start with. Somebody mentioned ankles or foot or feet. Toe actually. Toe. So with the feet, just start by hands to either side of you. You can take the flesh out from under your bottom and just bounce your feet and toes up and toes away. We're beginning to get circulation into the feet, up and away, and up and away. And then just circling the ankles in one direction. And circle the ankles in the opposite direction. Now if you're able to, bend up the right leg, open the right knee to the right and rest the right ankle on your left thigh. Just start by holding over your toes and just bend the toes forwards and backwards. If you can bear it, and some people can't, you can thread your fingers between the toes.
That's very good for your sinuses, because those are your sinus trigger points in between your toes.
Did you hear that? Sue said that's very good. You can bear it to do it for your sinus point, because it's trigger points.
Yes, those are the reflex points for your sinuses, are down at the base in between each toe.
So
And up the sides of the toes. If it hurts, that's probably because you've had sinus problems.
Understand.
Yeah, I can't do it.
So if you can't do it, just go back to that. If you can do it,
It is good to press down in between each toe.
press down. If you can hear Sue,
Yeah,
press
sorry, I
down.
said it a bit loud. If you press down between each toe, those are the trigger points for your sinuses, and slightly up the sides of your toes, inside them.
So Natalie might not come back again because she's in agony.
Yeah,
And
just
then-
gently.
And then,
Only on the right one.
okay, and then the other option is to release and relax your fingers and do the same action, but your toes are doing the work. And I find that really difficult to do that. So please adopt whatever works for you. And then just release that. Hug your right knee into your chest. Drop your hands underneath your right thigh and just swing your knee, its hinge joint. I think if Charlotte were here, she'd correct me, but I think it's the synovial fluid. It's not, you think you're doing nothing, but you're actually just lubricating the knee joint. And then just very gently place the right foot onto the floor and slide it out. Because we're going to be doing the same with the other one. Just bounce your legs, tap or rub your legs. Just almost like dry skin brushing them. And then if you can bear it, hug your left knee into your chest. Open your left knee out to the left and rest your left ankle on the left ankle on the right thigh. And have your fingers over your left toes and just bend, just to go into the feet, just to explore that forwards and backwards movement. If you're able to, you can bear to thread your fingers through your toes, and then as Sue said, press down into where the toes join.
Yeah, just right at the base of the toes.
And then just flex them to and fro. And if you can bear to do it, just relax your toes, and then just make your feet do the same movement work. And then there's one more thing you can do with your feet, which I forgot to add in. Just take your fingers out, support your left foot with your left hand. Take your right hand and just swirl your big toe one way and then swirl it the other way. And then just pull it slightly. And then your second toe, just swirl it in one direction and then the other, and then just pull it slightly. And then we're going to do the same for each toe, just circling each toe and then just pulling.
It clears the brain.
Clears the brain, does it? Oh, I need a new brain.
The brain reflex is right on the top of the toe.
So did you hear what Sue said? The brain reflex is right on the top of the big toe. You can press that. If you want a new brain, which would be quite helpful. And the other thing that you can do is take your thumb and second or third finger and just rub up and down the big toe, either side, and the second toe.
So that's going down the front of your big toe is your throat area here.
Oh, should we say
So
the
your
front
thyroid.
The front of the big toe is your throat and thyroid
Yes, the
area.
base of the toe at the front. So if you think of the toe being your head, and then this part is your
Okay, the throat.
throat.
Did you get that? The front of the big toe, and then towards the base of the big toe, at the front is your throat.
And your thyroid. So there's
And
a point
thyroid.
at where your toe bends, where the bone is, that's your thyroid reflex point.
Oh, right, okay. Ah. So we'll just then we'll leave the toes. You know what to do now, and then just hug the left knee in, just dropping the hands and just swinging your knee. Again, just the lubrication. I met a guy on a walk today who's had knee surgery 6 weeks in. He's hobbling around, and I thought, oh, it's so difficult if you have knee problems. You're so much better if you could try and avoid that. Oh, as you know, I've forgotten about that, yes. And Julia, of course.
Oh yeah, she was terrible, wasn't she?
Do you want the line down at all?
No.
Sure. And then, yes, well, she's busy with 3 now on the go.
Oh goodness, good for her.
And then just bounce your knees, just rub, stretch your legs out. And just uplifting for the mood. Place your hands to either side of you, press your hands down and lift at the chest. So that's uplifting for the mood. You can gently lift your chin as an option and look into your eyebrows as an option. If any time you're sitting and you feel really blur and you want to uplift your mood and boost your creativity, just pressing your hands down and lifting your chest like this will release the stress because you're disconnecting the eyes from the stress centres of the brain, and you'll just stretch up as uplifting for the mood, and then just release. And then we're going to come to lying, knees bent, feet hip width apart. And come to have your hands either resting on the abdomen or palms down, or if you're feeling that you need to really stretch out the upper arms, which connects to the upper lymphatic system, you can have your arms out along the floor like a T. And just start by swaying the knees from side to side. You can even have your feet slightly wider than hip width apart, or considerably wider than hip width apart. You're massaging across the top of the bottom. The point is called GB30, which is the gallbladder. Forget that, it's just a major acupressure point, which can be very releasing. And it's the point, if you'll see other traditions might have a tennis ball or something, or a soft ball under that point. Just Pilates comes to mind, just to release that area. And then you can start to join the head in. So the head might like to go in the opposite direction away from the knees. Just let the head feel heavy on the ground. So you're just releasing all tension from the body. And notice with the swaying from side to side, if your feet are initiating the movement, your knees or the hips, there's no right or wrong, but just notice how you're initiating the movement. And then come to the centre, and you can lower your arms, make any adjustments to the feet as we hug the left knee into the chest. And for a hip movement, just rotate the knee, the left knee, a few times while you're holding the knee in a circle in one direction. So with the knee, you're always looking to release or the joint above and below any affected joint. So moving the hips and moving the ankles, funnily enough, is quite good for the knee. It just frees everything up. And then rotate the knee in the opposite direction. The hips can get very stiff over a festive period. Stagnants who've been sitting and the weather's been not great, and then it's almost like New Year, where are you going, where are you aiming to go to? And then open the left knee out to the left and rest the left ankle on the top of the left right hip. Hands palms down or palms on the abdomen, and just sway the knees from side to side. And if you want to take this a stage further, either stay doing this, which is very relaxing, or tummy in, lift the right foot off the floor, bring the left hand through that butterfly sort of thing with the elbow, with the knee, leg, and just hold underneath the right thigh. That's quite a strong stretch underneath for the right hip. And if you're super good with that, you can make it harder by holding the front of your right knee. If your chin is shot up to the ceiling, then come back to holding underneath the knee. And then just very gently place the right foot on the floor, hands down either alongside you or on the abdomen, and just sway the knee from side to side. And then hugging the left knee into the chest and placing the left foot back onto the ground. And transferring the attention to the right side as you hug the right knee into the chest. And just circle the right knee a few times in one direction. Quite often, the right side can get, on the right hip, can be more effective than the left if you're right-handed, and it doesn't always follow, but there is a slight tendency that people can be worse on the right side. And then circle the knee in the opposite direction. And then hugging the knee into the chest, open the right knee out to the right and rest the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Hands, palms down along the abdomen, so just sway both knees from side to side. And you can stay with this sway, or if you want to take it a stage further, tummy in, lower abdominal muscles in, perineum slightly engages, lift the left foot off the ground, and then bring your hands to hold underneath your left thigh. And if you want to stretch yourself even more, hold the outside of your left knee, really opening up the outer right hip. And then just very gently release, hugging the right knee into the chest. Bring the left knee in to hug into the chest. And just take a few very relaxing, hug the knees into the chest, still hold the knees, let them drift to arm's length. And just do this a few times. You can feel the subtle massage of your own body weight against the floor, almost going along the lower back area. It's very releasing, not just for back pain, but for pain generally. And then just come to finish your hugging in. And still holding both knees, circle both knees like a unit, going both of them in the same direction. So you're circling around the base of the lower back in one direction, and then circling the knees in the other direction. And then hugging both knees into the chest. Breathing in, extend the left leg and the left arm up above you. Extend the left heel. Breathing out, hug the left knee into the chest. And then breathing in, extend the right leg up and the right arm up. And then you can extend behind you as much as you like, connect to the earth if you need to. And then breathing out, hug the right knee into the chest. And back to the left side, left leg up, left arm behind you. And then hugging the left knee into the chest. And then right leg up, right arm behind. And then hugging the right knee into the chest. And then holding sliding your hands down your front of your legs, holding the shins or above the ankles. And the big toes vaguely, the big toe joints vaguely come together. You're just opening the inner groin, which is another part of connects to the lymphatic system. And then either, we're going to have legs up above us, so you might not be able to hold your big toes. If you can't, then that's fine. Just raise your legs up, holding behind the calves just for a moment or two. If you can hold your big toe, then do. Just hold big toes. But if not, just hold behind the calves just for a moment or two, just stretching out the backs of the legs, just supporting the legs, just swaying slightly from side to side. An inversion, you can do this at home against the wall or your legs over a chair, and against the wall is good. It completely rebalances the metabolic or the endocrine system in the yogic world anyway. And then hugging both knees into the chest. And both feet up to the ceiling, both arms up and behind you. Breathing out, hug both knees into the chest. And then both feet down to the floor again. Feet hip width apart, palms this time down alongside you. Just feel that you might like to adjust yourself. And just do a couple of pelvic tilts, flattening the back and then going the other way. There's a little gap under your back. And then raise the arms up and behind you, resting on the ground. Your chin comes into your chest. And again, do a couple of pelvic tilts. Your arms are up behind you, stretching out under the arms. And then press the feet down, lift the bottom up into half bridge pose. If that's too much, then just come to another couple of pelvic tilts. And then breathing out, lower the bottom back down to the ground. And then hug the knees into the chest once more, rocking from side to side. And we're going to come to roll over onto all fours. Take your time to come over and then come in your own time up onto all fours in tabletop. And just come to turn the right palm up and slide the right hand palm up, bottom up to the ceiling. You can come almost down to having your right shoulder on the ground and the right side of your head. So it's a stretch out of the shoulder, right shoulder. And then tummy in to slide the right hand back into tabletop. And then take your left palm up, sliding your left arm through out towards the right, turning the head, resting if you get down as far as that, the left shoulder onto the ground, left side of the head, the right hand supports your body weight. Just opens up the upper side of the back in a slightly different way. Shoulder as well, side of the head, neck. And then just sliding the hand out. Keep the bottom high and slide the hands forward. Your forehead might come onto the floor. Poppy pose. It comes into the middle of the upper back. Take it in and out breath. And if you want to do quarter dog pose, bend your right elbow, have your right forearm across you, and stretch out the left arm. You can rest your forehead on top of your back of your right wrist, right hand, that's quarter dog, bottom up in the air, stretching out now under the left arm. And then come to have your left arm across you and stretching out your right arm, bottom up in the air. Again, you'll feel the stretch all the way along the right side. Tummy in to come back to tabletop again. And tucking the toes underneath, dipping your back, looking up. And as you breathe out, round the back and flatten the feet, pushing the tops of the feet into the earth. Breathing in, dip the back, look up. And breathing out, round the back, chin to chest. And do that a couple of times to your own breath pattern, tucking the feet, looking up. And then breathing out, rounding. And last time, dipping back, and then rounding. And to have your knees slightly wider apart, big toes slightly together towards each other, and then stretch out in child's pose just for a moment or two. And then sliding your hands towards you, tuck your toes, and we're going to come to standing, but there are some of you who might like to come to standing via downward dog, if not just come to standing. So if you're going to come via downward dog, tuck the toes, tummy in, lengthen the back and then lengthen the feet, widen the feet if you need to. Walk the dog by bending one knee and then the other knee. And then walking the feet to the hands to the feet in a forward fold. You can soften the knees if that works for you. And then you can again keep the knees soft. Place the left hand on the floor slightly in front of you between your 2 feet. And place your right hand on the waist and turn to the right. You can still look down or you can look up. If you feel very balanced, then you can raise your right hand and feel that you're extending from the chest and you're lengthening the back before you turn. And then lower the right hand. Come to place the right hand on the ground, lengthen the chest, lengthen the back from the chest, and then place the left hand on the left waist and open out to the left. Whether you're keeping the back, sort of your chest extended, you can keep your hand where it is, or you can raise your hand up above you, looking either down or up, depending on where your neck capacity is. And then lower the hands to the ground. Soften the knees, and then roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And then step your feet in a hip width apart in a triangle. And we'll just do a warrior 2. Turn the left foot in slightly, right foot out. Feel that you can adjust your feet at any point. Drop your weight centrally, bending your right knee, and turn to look beyond your right fingers. Then drop your left hand, raise your right hand up, looking at your right thumb. Lower the right hand. Place the hands on the waist and come to turn your right foot in, and then turn your right foot totally in and your left foot out and come to the other side. Soften your front left knee as you drop your weight centrally, open your arms. Look beyond the fingers of your left hand, and then drop your right hand to the back of the right thigh. Raise your left hand up, looking at the left thumb. drop your left hand, come in with your left toes, and then just slide your hands down, soften your knees, and place your hands on the floor. You can lengthen out your legs if you want to, keep your knees soft. It's just a forward bend to compensate for the movement that we've made. And then to come out of that, heel toe your feet. So the heels coming, toes coming, heels, toes. When you come in to where you feel you're nicely balanced, really bend your knees and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raise the hands up, clasp and reverse. And we're going to then test our balance by lifting the heels. And then lower the heels, lower the hands. Again, lift and roll the shoulders. Come to standing feet hip width apart, be comfortable. And then coming back to the thyroid, just imagine your nose like a pencil and do a horizontal figure of 8. So lifting the nose, lifting your head and neck, tracing an 8, and then up the other side. And again, notice if your 8 is better one side than the other. I notice my 8 on the right side isn't quite surrounded. You're connecting into the thyroid and parathyroid as you're going from side to side, and then the pineal and the pituitary as you're going sort of up and down. And they're all part of your metabolic master control. And if you want to change directions and make your 8 in the other direction, you're very welcome to do so. We tend to always start with the dominant side of the brain, kind of dictates which direction we favour. And then come to stillness. And then come once more down to sitting on the mat. Sit comfortably. Cross-legged is lovely, but if that's too much for your knees, then come to sit however works for you. Hands come to Dhyana Mudra. It's symbolic of subduing the ego, but you can have your thumb to your root of the second finger to the root of the thumb, and the palms can be down or can be up. So down is gesture of gesture of knowledge, and up is gesture of consciousness. But you need to have mine down. This is a breath work. It's very simple. Getting nitric oxide into the body. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the mouth. Just do that a few times. And make the next one the last one. And then bring one hand to the heart centre, one hand to the navel. Take a couple of breaths here, connecting the two centres. And then very gently bring the hand on the navel to the heart. And take a moment to have a thought for the day, setting your intention. And then let that thought go. Bring your chin to your chest, taking a bow for yourself. And thank you very much